Java 5 has given a drastic change to collection framework. Java 5 has introduced so many new concepts, and rather not only for the collection framework, it has given so many new things to the Java as a language itself. So Java, we'll just talk about the additions which happens to the collection framework in Java 5. In Java 5, we get a new thing in Java as a language level component is what an enum. We can define an enum just like in a C or C++ kind of enum in a Java. So they have given us a Java enum map and enum set where we can put in enum map. It is what like you can put a enum as a key and value you can put as object, where like in enum set you can put a enum as element in a set. So it just like a set and map, like sorted set and sorted map, which supporting for the enum as a key or the element values. One more thing which was added in Java 5 was queue. So queue represents a collection which is designed for holding elements prior to processing. So it is just like the same concept of a queue from a data structure where it works on the FIFO, like first in first out mechanism, and the firstly entered value will be returned. So it has a head and tail. Priority queue. Priority queue is what something different. It's a queue, but we cannot say that it will work on FIFO mechanism only, where like you can provide a comparator to the queue object, which will say that what is the priority of this object, and based on the priority, that object will be given when you are pulling the object from a queue. So it might possible that the order in which it has been inserted, it's not at all maintained when we are working with a priority queue, and when it gets similar priority objects, in that case arbitrarily it selects one and then gives when you are pulling it. So priority queues are queue, but still it not works on the FIFO mechanism if you are giving your own comparator for a priority. If you are not giving, then it works with the natural order. Then one more thing which was added in Java 5.0 was generics. So generics was adds compile time type safety to the collection frameworks and eliminates the need to cast. Earlier, like in Java 1.2, when the collection framework was given, or rather the classes prior to that, like vector and hash table, was having a methods like add, which accepts object, and get, which returns object. So each time when you are passing any object, let's say like employee class object, you don't need to typecast while putting it in add method, but while getting from the get method, or let's say any other method which returning you the element of iterator next method or so. So in that scenario, you were supposed to be forced to typecast that into your own employee type so that you can use it as an employee. So that kind of binding now has been removed from a generics, because now you can define a collection with a specific type at the time of creating the instance itself. So when you are calling a get method on that instance, you are very sure that I am going to get this specific type of object itself, so you don't need to typecast. Even it doesn't allow you to add the objects of any other type to that collection, so that you can guarantee that if I am creating a collection, or let's say list of a string, no one can add integer to that list, or no one can let's say all the times when I am calling a get method on that collection, I will be getting the string itself, string type only. So it is something similar to template concept in C++. Some more thing which was been added and which has impacted collection was in Java 5.0 is enhanced for loop. When we wanted to iterate over a collection earlier to Java 5.0, we were supposed to use like get a iterator and then put like a while loop till the iterator next doesn't return you null, and then or put like a loop for if it is a list, then I is equal to 0, I is less than, let's say, list object dot size and I plus plus kind of a thing. So these things can be eliminated with the help of enhanced for loop, where it just gives like a for each, and you can pass the collection and all those things. So you don't need to put the specific condition and all those things, and that loop will go on till it has the elements to iterate in a collection. The interesting part which was been introduced in Java 5.0 was autoboxing and unboxing. As we all know that collections are based on the object type, means it takes the object type to stored in it, or like add method expects object and get method returns object. And what's about the primitive values? So in that case, the answer was only like wrap it using a wrapper objects and then put those wrapper objects into the collection. Again, whenever you are getting that, you need to get you will be getting an wrapper class object, and then you need to get the primitive value, and then you need to work on that. So that is what been cleared with the help of autoboxing and unboxing. Autoboxing talks about like converting primitive type value directly to the wrapper object. So you can now pass directly a primitive value to the add method of your collection, and with the help of autoboxing it will be directly converted to the its associated wrapper class object. And when you are getting a get, you can have the primitive data type variable at the left hand side of your assignment operator, and the value will be directly getting unboxed, or we can say converted to the primitive type, and will be set to the variable. This was the addition of specifically language components, whereas like in collection framework in Java 5.0, as I said, like it was a drastic change. They have added one more package with name concurrent. So java.util.concurrent package has been introduced in Java 5.0 with some additional type of a collection. So out of which we'll just talk about one by one. Blocking queue. So it is an interface which extends queue interface and which operate just like a queue, but over here it blocks for putting the values in a queue if it is not empty. So that queue to become non-empty when retrieving an element, and it keeps on waiting. So it is like a blocking call when you are calling like pull an element from a queue, and if the element is not available in a queue, your call will be like a blocking call. Unless and until you get some element from a queue, your call will not get completed. So this is what a blocking queue. Linked blocking queue is what an implementation given for the blocking queue, which is what just we can say a blocking queue which is backed by the linked list. Priority blocking queue. So it is a priority queue which is a blocking queue. So an unbounded blocking priority queue backed by a heap memory. Synchronous queue. It is just a simple queue which is not at all actually a queue. Synchronous queue has just like a value which there is only one value which you can talk about, like is given, like you are adding a value and some another thread is reading a value from that. So when we are talking about all these different classes and interfaces added in a concurrent package, and even the name suggests concurrent, so all these type of collections are added specifically for to execute in a multi-threaded environment, or we can say to support a concurrency in Java. As we have already discussed that the interfaces, the classes or collection implementation given in Java 1.2, like array list, linked list, and all those things are not synchronized. So they are coded to throw concurrent exception or different kind of exception when two threads are accessing the same collections or modifying the same collections at same point of a time. Whereas these concurrent package collections like a blocking queue or synchronous queue and array blocking queue, all those things doesn't throw you that kind of exceptions, and it can be used in a multiple threaded model. Blocking queue is what we can say a better example where we can talk about the scenario. Let's say if I have multiple threads which are putting some value, and there are multiple threads which are reading those values from a collection and then working on it. So kind of a messaging structure. So the queue can be worked as a destination for a thread who are putting values for the another thread which is becoming as an input value. So each thread will put a value to that, and another thread will pull a value from blocking queue. So unless and until it gets a value, it will not be in return. That call, the call to pulling the value will not be returned, so that it will assure that it will get a value all the times. Delay queue, it is a time-based scheduling queue backed by a heap, where each and every element will be available to pull unless and only after completing the given delay, which is given in a nanoseconds. So we can schedule that this element will be available after this much of a nanosecond for a pulling purpose in a delay queue. So delay queue is something like a priority queue, where like a priority defines that which object will be pulled in next cycle, and where in a delay queue the delay time, which if the object's delay time is 0 or less than 0, only that object will be pulled from a queue in case of a delay queue. Concurrent map, it is concurrent map interface extends map interface with atomic put, if, absent, and remove and replace methods, which is added one. But mainly we can say it is the map which can work with multi-threaded environment, and we can have the multiple threads working on it. Concurrent hash map, highly concurrent, high performance concurrent map implemented backed by the hash table, which is an implementation of a concurrent map. Concurrent linked queue is what a queue implemented has a linked list and it is optimized for the concurrency. So we can say an unbounded thread safe FIFO queue backed by a linked node. Copy on write array list and copy on write array set. I will talk about this just after giving an explanation that why we have these interfaces and classes as a separate package. As we have discussed, in a collections class, we have a certain method which returns you the synchronized form of the given collection. Like there are methods synchronized list. By passing the normal list object, you were able to get a synchronized form of a list, so that we can work with the multiple. We can work with that object in a multi-threaded environment. Then why we required a separate package itself with a different implementation for the multi-threaded environment? So the difference in synchronized map or synchronized list set and the concurrent map and concurrent list is what? In the concurrent map or concurrent list or concurrent queue, we can talk about where the read call is not a blocking call. So multiple objects can read simultaneously, as well as multiple threads can also write on the same object simultaneously. So over here, the lock is obtained on very fine level. It is not obtained on the complete object level, which was the case with the synchronized map and all those things. So in case of a synchronized map, when one thread is updating a map, another thread has to be put on a hold so that it will get the lock on that object which is released by the earlier thread, and then only it can do. But the same thing is not with the concurrent package implementation, where the lock is been acquired on the very fine level. So two or more than two threads can work simultaneously with the concurrent map or concurrent list kind of a thing. Okay. Now we'll talk about copy on write array list and copy on write array set. You can talk about this as a list given for the concurrency purpose, or a list implementation backed by array, and which is specifically designed for the multi-threaded environment. All mutative operations such as add, set, and remove and all those things are implemented by making a new copy of the array. So we can say, like, when you are adding any element to a copy on write array list or copy on write array set, the difference is only of the difference which we have in the list and set. So I will just explain it in the same manner. So in both the cases, it just creates a separate copy. So the iterator which has been you have get it before updation will work on its own separate copy. So you won't be getting concurrent exception anymore. In Java 6, we have a DQ, is what double-ended queue, or we can say doubly, which